Indeed. This tale is a farce. Of course it isn't the truth. However, there is something that he feels he must tell you. Something he's so determined to convey that he went to such lengths. Beato, I'm already showing her. I don't want to force it on her. I see. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm sleepy. True. We should probably go take a nap. Kenzo? Must I remain here longer? My apologies, but I must ask you to stay for just a bit. Moving on, Kraus. The continued support of the Fukuan house should be viewed as your responsibility as the Ushiromi family head. What a pain. Forgive me, Battler. It seems I cannot go with you. Genji? Would you mind taking these two to the guest house? As you wish. Battler-sama, Angie-sama, please follow me. Thanks. See you later, Beato. Of course! I have a mountain of things I wish to discuss with you, and I'd like to have some time alone tonight. We must act the part of a married couple every now and then. Well, what do you mean by act the part of a married couple? Because Angie had gotten so bored, she had grown very sleepy. It would probably be best for her to take a quick nap. Battler walked through the windy rose garden, pulling her by the hand. When he questioned their guide, Genji, he learned that the old servant had known beforehand of Kinzo's desire to return the gold to Beato, and settle the inheritance problem early. The master decided to start preparations early for his final task in this world, the ending of his life. Most people don't think much about what happens after they die. Guess grandfather just lives on a whole different scale. Today marks the start of a new flight when the Ushiromi family will depart from the Golden Witch's patronage. That's true. That's a pretty cool way to say it. Apparently a grand Halloween party was to be held tonight, and Goda and the others had been ordered to start getting ready for it. However, it wouldn't just be a party. It would be a ceremony to mark the return of Beatrice's gold. At the start of dinner, grandfather would make the announcement, and the 3 generations of Beatrices would be thanked for their gift to the family with a round of applause. Apparently this was what they had planned. Are we still keeping this secret from Dad and the others? Technically, it is a secret. However, the master did not suddenly begin thinking this way today. He has considered this day many times over many years, and has even discussed certain matters with his children. I doubt that any will be surprised to hear this night's announcement. Apparently, my old bastard's been running all over the place trying to get money for his company. I guess he'll be dancing around when he hears that grandfather's giving him his part of the inheritance early, a nice present for him. I rather think the great responsibility is what will spur him on. Ever since Rudolph-sama left the island, he has succeeded splendidly. However, his success so far has been supported by the master's wealth. And now that he's suddenly getting his inheritance money, he'll have to keep going by his own strength alone in the future. That's some nice pressure for him. The siblings must have suffered for decades because of their father's success and ability. Simply having a parent who is too successful can be a great burden to a child. And tonight, they'll be leaving the nest, truly becoming adults for the first time. It seems the master plans to call this night a gold returning ceremony. However, he's originally intended to call it a living funeral. Sounds pretty depressing, having a funeral while you're still alive. I'll admit that calling it a day to start a new journey and leave the nest that fits the Ushiromi family much better. Oni-chan, I'm sleepy. Look. We're almost to the guest house. Do you want to go to Mom's room or to the cousin's room? I don't care. Sleepy. I'll sleep until dinner. Sleepy. Now I have to carry you. Angie, still holding her brother's hand, crouched down and looked as though she was about to fall asleep. Battler lifted her up and carried her, as she felt the warmth and safety of her brother's back. Angie drifted off to sleep. I was more expecting we were going to carry her like in our arms like a football. Cradling her like a baby. And not. Because, we can support her legs on our neck like that, but it's not good for her back. She's gonna like put her weight in a weird angle and then she's gonna wake up all stiff. It's not healthy. What happened that day? Just what on earth happened on October 4th and 5th, 1986? Because of that massive size of Rakanjima's explosion accident, the time of the explosion was known almost exactly down to the minute. That time was October 5th, midnight. The sheer improbability of the round number proved that the accident had been produced by artificial means. Later on, the following statements were collected from individuals who knew the Ushirome Kenzo when he was alive. During his lifetime, Ushirome Kenzo built a clock rigged to blow up the island at exactly midnight. This clock was apparently inside his secret study. When he felt mentally cornered and wanted to think up a brilliant plan, he would activate this device and use the tension of the approaching midnight to bring some flash of inspiration to him. You know, I mean, technically no one else really knew about this, but that's kind of abusive to the rest of his family. Be like, oh, the rest of your family's the rest of the house, but, you know, I have a timer set that's going to kill everyone. It's like, I don't think any responsible person would do this. While Ushirome Kenzo still lived, this was the only thought of as a tall tale from this eccentric man, but the fact that Rakanjima explosion accident occurred exactly at 12 o'clock supported the story. Is it possible he knew he was going to die and he just kept setting it every day? So it's like, okay, if I oversleep or if I die, then everyone dies with me. Like, you're a jerk. It sounds crazy. He must have hoped to gain some sort of mystical power from those short periods of madness. If we call this his source of high output mental power, the story isn't really that difficult to solve. That'd be like saying, oh, I want to do better at drawing something, play Russian roulette. Like, no, that's dumb. Professor Utsuki spoke passionately. Witch hunters, enthusiasts who treat the mad fantasy surrounding Rakanjima as their plaything. Angie had no reason to love these people who embellished the deaths of her family just for the fun of it. How ironic it was to Angie, who wanted to know what happened that day, that such people knew more about that island than anyone else. If someone used that device, the whole island would be blown away without a trace. There would be nothing left. No matter what had happened there, they could erase it. Theories that Ushirome Eva was the ringleader of some conspiracy sprang up very early on. However, no one was able to explain how she set off such a massive explosion. And the rigged clock proves that such a thing was possible. Correct. We can theorize that Ushirome Eva, fully aware of the time and expected radius of explosion, took refuge in Kuadorian to get all of the family wealth to herself. She killed everyone and used the explosion to remove all evidence. That idea provides the most logical explanation for the Rakanjima mystery. It also conforms with the fact that Ava never spoke to anyone about the events of that day. Where was the rigged clock and how did Ava find it? Several forgeries have speculated on this matter. There's no need for me to waste time thinking about it. Ava activated the clock device hidden in Kuadorian to escape the blast, and was therefore the only one to survive. That was everything, the answer which eloquently told the whole story. When Ava first adopted me, our relationship wasn't that bad at all. I asked her several times what happened that day. Every single time she answered, it was to say that she didn't remember. But, well, she must have been flustered at the time. The very first time I asked, she answered like this: I can't tell you about that. It was a slip of the tongue. She knew what had happened that day, and she left this world without telling even a bit of the truth. She sealed the truth in a cat box and left this world taking the key with her. There can only be one answer. She was behind everything.